Good evening, and thank you all for coming. First, I'd like to go into a little of my background for those of you who don't know me. I was born in Kansas City, graduated Lee Summit High School in 1992, where I entered the United States Army. Served 8.5 years, 2 tours in White Sands, where I met my lovely wife, who's with me here tonight. Thank you for coming, honey. A year in Korea and 3 years in Germany. After that, I worked at a steel mill, Oregon Steel to be exact, outside of Portland, Oregon, and 7 years at Boise. I intended to retire from Boise, but unfortunately, I, along with 299 others, were laid off, a victim of this economy. Faced with tough decisions, I was convinced by my wife to look at our options, and fortunately, I had the GI Bill, which allowed me to go back to school, training, specifically wind technician training, Northwest Renewable Energy. Upon graduation, I was fortunate enough to land a job here with Suzlon here in Arlington. Currently, I work for Suzlon for 2 years, and I just started with Iberdrola right across the road, who was our owner, and my intentions are to stay here. As far as my political views are about, I'm conservative. I was raised in the Midwest. I believe that less government is better. Also lived in small towns. It wasn't all in Kansas City. I believe that a handshake and a man's word is his bond. That's where I come from. And I think we have that here in Arlington. And I do enjoy small town life. I think we've got it better here than in big cities. I also believe that we shouldn't borrow or spend money that we don't have on things that we don't necessarily need. I think that's a big problem in America today. And I'm concerned about it, as you should be. I think our number one failure in politics is a lack of leadership. And that's why I'm running. Because I learned as a non-commissioned officer in the United States Army, the core values of leadership are honesty and integrity. It takes a lot to be a leader and to stand up and make a decision. And when you do make a decision, you stand by it, even if it means making a mistake. Real leaders learn from their mistakes, and then they coach others to not make the same mistake. I also believe that all problems have a solution, and usually doing the right thing is a tough thing. I have approached the City Council before with my own concerns. This is not a knock on them. I think we have a great City Council. I personally have enjoyed spending time at council meetings and getting to meet every one of them. I think they've done a great job. So it's nothing personal against Bobby here, but I think it's time for me to step up. I'd like to see some of the younger generation get involved. The beauty of the council, when it comes to leadership, is it's not all on me. There's 6 members. And if we can't come to a decision, if it's a tie vote, fortunately we have a mayor, and it rests on him. So anyway, that's where I stand. I'd like your vote, and thank you.
Good evening. I'm Bobby Gentry. I'm the incumbent city council. I was born in Heppner and raised in Pendleton. Graduated from Pendleton High School in 1970. Spent 12.5 years in the Marine Corps. And coming out of the Marine Corps, I went to college in LeGrand, a degree in business economics. I'm currently the quality manager and assistant facility manager at the Cargill food plant up the road, right down my degree field line. Food safety is what I do. In the 2.5 years I've been on the council, we've faced some pretty tough times. We had an influx when I came in here. Thank the Lord, the windmill projects were here, and we had an influx of money and everything else. The decisions we've made to date, and the programs, and what we've got going right now, like the airport project, getting water and sewer up there, laying the infrastructure for fiber cable networking up there. It's been a necessity. Itsetsu has just spent a bunch of money building a brand new building up there. The ribbon cutting is this next week on that building. So they're not working out of vans and stuff anymore. They've got a permanent structure. I'm the councilman in charge of sewers and streets. And while I've been a councilman, we got a bid for the infrastructure, the lining down Main Street of the sewer system, and extended it past the cemetery, opening that part of the city up for growth. And we came in enough under bid. We were also able to line the street down the main part of the park that was collapsing and falling down. So we've had some tough decisions, and some of them have gone good, some of them we didn't approve. And when I stepped into this position 2.5 years ago, they asked me, why do I want to be a councilman? What was my thoughts? And I stepped into this and just flat told them, I'm not a politician. This is my first time in city government. I would base my decisions on what I know and what I can find out and what was best for the city of Arlington, not for a small group of people or anything else, the whole city. As a councilman, that's your job. I hope I've done a good enough job that you'll re-elect me. Thank you.
I would like to thank the Arlington Community Chamber for sponsoring the forum. I think it's great. I'm happy to see so many people here tonight, and I thank you all for coming. Most of you know me, but I see people that probably don't. So I'll tell you a little bit about who I am. I was born and raised here in Gillum County. I'm a third-generation Gillum Countian. When I graduated, went to college, and that was in the Carter years. And so when you got out of college, it was much like now. There just weren't jobs. So I got married. And I ended up in the Dalles. I worked for Montgomery Wards and was a store manager there, worked there 12 years. Then I moved back to Arlington in '88. Can everyone hear me? Okay. And I became the office manager out of the brand new Columbia Ridge landfill. And I worked out there for 12 years. Then when I was severanced from that position, I got a job in the Dalles, and I commuted for 10 years, and I worked in the planning office. So I've had, both private sector and public sector work experience, and I can look at things from both sides. I am the former chairperson of the Arlington Planning Commission. I've been a city councilor for 1 year and 3/4. I filled a vacant position. I was on the Ford Leadership Cohort 3 on the beautiful gates at the fairgrounds. And I'm currently on the committee for the new Arlington School Facility, and I've served on a couple of budget committees. My skills are in planning and zoning and permitting and plan review and ordinances because of my position with the City of the Dalles. I'm also a progressive development advocate. I want to see our town grow and improve. And I have construction experience because my husband owns a construction company. Since I've been on the council, there's been a lot that's been going on, and I became the first representative of the council to the port, and this was before I worked at the port, which I have now for 1.5 years. And it opened up an avenue for the Port of Arlington and the City of Arlington to form a partnership and work together and Today was the ribbon cutting for the in situ building that the port built for in situ. And the city participated in that. The city gave the port the land so the port could build a building, and in situ is now leasing it from us. We have sewer and water going up there. We got a grant from the county for that. And we're doing a power study, and the port is actively looking at customers to put in our industrial park now. So a lot of things are going on, and I want to be a part of it, and I would appreciate your vote.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Leslie Ballhorn. I'm currently a member of the Arlington City Council. I've lived here in Arlington since 1972, and I've worked for the Arlington School District for 39 years. I grew up in Helix, Oregon, smaller than this, but I was raised by two parents that thought community service is important in your life. And so about probably 10 years ago, I began working on the Planning Commission. I was the chair for several years. After that, I decided I'd like to get a little bit more involved. So 4 years ago, I ran for city council, and the people of this community elected me to that position, and I thoroughly have enjoyed doing that. I'm hoping this time you'll vote for me again. One of the biggest things that I feel has come about this last 4 years is the progressiveness of the council and how they've been working together to make things better for the citizens of this town. We all know that we need housing, we need jobs, and we're hoping with our partnership with the port and the use of the airport land that that will come about by putting in the infrastructure. I'd also like to ask for your vote because we've started rewriting our city ordinances, and I'm a part of that committee, and I'm thoroughly enjoying going through that. I know for most of you, you might not think, but that's how I work. I'm thoroughly enjoying going through the rewriting of those city ordinances, and it'll bring us up to the current status of 2012, and I think that's really important for all of you. So I hope if you feel that I've done a good job, you'll vote for me. Thank you.
I'd like to welcome everybody here tonight, and thank you for coming. My name is Jeff Buffton. I'm the current mayor. I decided to run again for at least one more term, and hopefully you'll vote me in. I know there's a write-in block on the ballot, so we'll see how that goes. There's a few things I'd like to see get done. I've been on the venture of trying to get growth and progressiveness in this city, and I think we're on the right track with developing this industrial zone. We've got to get infrastructure and businesses in this town to move forward and have some growth. So that's kind of been my plan. I've been working on securing a water permit from the state of Oregon and the federal government for access to water from the Columbia River, because we have a stagnant permit that's been in limbo land forever. And hopefully we'll get that secured, and that's kind of like having a goal going down the road, having a water permit. I'll give you a quick bio. I moved here in '89. I brought my family here. At the time, my father-in-law was the superintendent of the schools, and I thought, what a best place to raise the kids. So we moved here with our family, started raising our kids. I've always been on the premise that if you don't get involved with things, you really can't complain about things. So I started getting involved. I've been in Alliance for 15 years. I was on the volunteer fire department for a few years, and I've been in city council. This will be my 20th year. I've been the police commissioner, I've been sewer and water commissioner, council president, and the past 6 years I've fulfilled the mayor's position. So we still have a lot of work to do. I enjoy doing it. As far as Arlington goes, it's the people, obviously, because we're all still here. And I've enjoyed it, so hopefully you'll vote for me.